Good morning, guys. It's Nick off from PS. I hope you're all well. Once again, thanks for coming back to my channel. I really do appreciate it. As ever, if you could tick that like button, subscribe to the channel, share my content. If you find it of any value, that would always be very, very much appreciated. Hope you've enjoyed this last week or two in crypto. What a week it's been, right? My new favorite president has basically presented everything I wanted and more on a silver platter. Did I love the guy beforehand? I always found him quite funny. I respect him as a businessman. I wouldn't say his politics line exactly with mine, but in the same respect, I didn't have anything against him either. But it was very clear he was going to be the candidate for us side of things from the crypto point of view, and I'm absolutely over the moon with everything he's done so far. If you've been living under a rock for the last week, then you've missed some serious news in the crypto world. I'm going to try my best to explain in layman's terms what we've seen and what the impact of that ought to be. The title of the video gives it away a little bit, but we'll get into that in a few moments later as well. So for now, as ever, you know me by now. My name's Nick. As you're aware, I am a financial advisor, but I'm absolutely not your financial advisor. I don't know the first thing about you. You don't know me likewise, and so I couldn't possibly give you any financial advice other than potentially incredibly bad financial advice. So anything I do today should not be taken as financial advice in any way or form. I'm just a guy sharing an opinion on the internet in the hope that it brings you some value. And I really do hope it brings you some value. So before we get into the main stretch, let's just take a look at the world where we are. I always start on this page mainly because I like the graphics more than anything else, but you can see the transaction volume of the XRP network is considerably higher now than it's been historically. Not so much at this exact moment in time. Things are quite slow at this point in time compared to where they've been in the last few weeks. The cryptocurrency world is, again, it seems strange to say, right? We're a little bit deflated this week because Bitcoin's only at $104,000. Only $104,000. Let's take a step back and remember where we've come from. You know, $104,000 is spectacularly high, but people feel a bit deflated because the markets have perhaps not reacted quite so quickly to the news that we've seen come out this week. I'm not surprised in any way or form, to be perfectly honest. This is what happens. Some of this was already priced in. A lot of this is people now waiting on further news. You know, the old rumor, buy the rumor, sell the news type event. Well, this is buy the rumor, wait for better news before buying or selling, I would say. But what we've got is a situation where Bitcoin's at 104,526, which is sensational. Once we all take a breath and think about that. I remember the days when Bitcoin was $3,000 when I first sold at $3,000. In actual fact, not first bought. I bought it earlier than that. I didn't buy an awful lot. I basically 10x my money, and I was happy with that. I got out. Time has proved me wrong for that decision. I would have been a hell of a lot wealthier if I just held and stayed where I was. But I wasn't in that stage of life at the time, and I wasn't in that stage of belief in the crypto sector either. Back in them days, it was very much a case that it could have all just been a fly-by-night and blown up and ripple or whatever else. So I only began investing heavily into this sector probably since about 2022, the dip after 21. I had bought before that. I was buying XRP a little bit before that, but I only began investing heavily when I saw the prices come tumble down. I was in a stage of life that it made sense for me to do so at the time. So I have been through various bull runs and bear markets, maybe not with as much exposure as I currently have. In fact, absolutely, definitely not with as much exposure as I currently have. Since this beginning of this bull run, crypto has now become a much bigger portion of my overall portfolio than I'd ever intended. But that's not because I've been buying irresponsibly. That's because it's the only sector that's capable of doing 300 or 400x on your money without batting an eyelid. So my traditional investments are ticking along at 7 to 10% a year. And when crypto does these phenomenal runs like it's done, you quickly catch up, especially when I've been investing more heavily dollar cost average in the last couple of years. So we're now in a strange position. We've got XRP at $3.12. That's down from about $3.20 last night, but we're ranging. If you take a look at this chart here, which is just the XRP chart, It doesn't show you an awful lot on the daily. You zoom out to the weekly, it looks very flat and boring. When you come out to the 1 month, you start to see a little bit more of a pattern. You can just about see a wedge forming there. I know you can't see my cursor, but you step out then to the 6 month though, and we have a very clear wedge forming here, which typically means one thing. We saw it back here at the start of December as well. You start to form these wedges, and it means the price is going to go one way or the other. We're either going to burst upwards or plummet downwards from here. It might not be yet. It might be another week of ranging like this. I don't know. But at some point, something's going to push us above that resistance level or below that support level. I strongly suspect, with all the narratives coming out, the market sentiment, it's going to be the upwards one. And as ever, I always say this: there's better technical analysis guys out there than me, so don't rely on me for the TA. Where I bring value to the space is I'm very good. I've got a long history working with the banks, working within the financial sector, working with regulators. I have an inside knowledge, if you like. I don't mean I know things, but I have an inside understanding of the way the systems work, and I can sort of read between the lines and see what's going to happen next, and I bring value to you guys in that way. So let's take a look at where we are in the world, right? There's one or two really, really big pieces of news that have come out this week. As ever, I'm going to use other people's tweets to demonstrate that the best. This one was actually my tweet, the first one there. SAB121 is gone. Now we see what happens when the big boys come to the party. That's just me sharing an opinion, but this was the part. It was Eleanor Terry. If you don't know Eleanor Terry, by the way, she is possibly the most clued up mainstream media journalist when it comes to the crypto space. I love the information she brings to the table. Most of what she says comes true. Most of what she predicts is spot on. And also she just reports on the happenings of the time. But breaking the SecGov has officially rescinded SAB 121. Now, if any one of you follow me on this channel, and I hope a couple of you do, but it's not as many as I would like, but you'll know that this is something I've been waiting a long time for. So SAB 121 is essentially that ruling that states the big banks, not that they cannot hold crypto, they are able to hold crypto on behalf of their clients as a custodian, but they must hold it what they call on balance sheet. And again, I've explained this in different videos in more detail. The simple fact of the matter is that makes it incredibly cost ineffective for banks. They lose money. They would have to charge you a fortune to hold your crypto in order to balance the books and make it worth their while. And of course, people don't want to pay the banks a fortune to hold their crypto. So what this essentially does is this means that we're in a position where now the banks are able to hold crypto on behalf of clients, investors, the man in the street, pension holders, whoever it may be. And it's not just banks, all institutions that come under this regulation. So they're now in a position where the banks are able to turn around and say, Mr. Smith, we see you've got $20,000 with us. We've just opened this basket of crypto that you can hold. Would you like to put 2% of your savings into this and take part in the cryptocurrency world? I'd imagine they'll say we have an expert who decides how the basket works, what to buy and sell on your behalf. Or it could just be as simple as we offer a crypto wallet now. Move your Bitcoin from your Coinbase wallet to our wallet. It could be anything. But what it means is they are no longer seriously hindered from either A, custodizing, or B, utilizing crypto for whatever reason they want. Now, there are still regulations that need to go through. There are still regulations regarding stable coins and other cryptos that they will want them in place before they go full throttle using cryptocurrency. I don't think you're going to see Bank of America announcing they bought billions of XRP or Bitcoin or any other coin this week. They still need to know that whatever happens next is not going to land them in hot water with regulators, not just in the US, mainly in the US, because the US is the biggest market by a long way, but globally. And the Europeans are a few steps ahead of the Americans. I don't think they will be within 2 months. I think this new government is going to catch up very, very quickly and overtake Europe now, which is a hugely positive thing for the rest of the world. But we're in a position where I don't think you'll see the banks tomorrow, but this is the green light that tells them it's coming. And so they will begin implementing strategies tomorrow. They will begin sitting around those board tables saying, how do we best utilize this? What are we going to do? Where do we fall in? What do we want to do to monetize this for ourselves? And very, very quickly, you're going to see lots and lots of positive sentiment out there. Positive sentiment drives retail. You know, how many times do you speak to someone, at the soccer game, at the baseball game, in the pub, whilst you're walking around the track, whatever it might be, and you bring up the fact that you like crypto, and someone goes, "Whoa, crypto! No, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. It's a Ponzi scheme. That everyone out there, the mainstream, we're the minority. Us guys that are into this space are the minority, and the reason they say this, they have this opinion, they've not been out there and done a bunch of research, or they form the same opinion as us. The reason they say this is they've not done the research and they've listened to the opinions of big banks, big players, big media organizations who for years and years and years have been saying this thing is a Ponzi scheme, it's too volatile, it's magic internet money, whatever you want to call it. And suddenly that narrative will now change because they want to drive people towards usage. If it's going to save, I know, any bank you like, Bank of America, billions of dollars a year by transferring people's money via crypto rather than the traditional methods, then they want the people to come on board with that and agree to that, right? That's, they can't send your money without asking your permission. They don't just send it. But in fairness, they probably can to a certain degree. Most people wouldn't know, but they still have to declare that they use it in some way or form. So they're going to want the world to suddenly change their opinion. We've got a president coming out telling the whole world that not only is crypto great, but he's going to make America the center of the cryptocurrency world. All these things work in our favor. So SAB 121 going, what that basically means is that banks now are not financially hindered by custodianizing, custody providing, holding cryptocurrencies on behalf of their clients, and on behalf of them themselves as well. And so suddenly we're going to see floodgates open in that respect. The banks are going to come for crypto. Exactly how this plays out, I don't know. I still couldn't tell you exactly how this plays out. I've probably done more research on this than 95% of the planet, and the other 5%, I follow them all on Twitter, so I even get their information as well. And I still couldn't tell you exactly how this plays out. But what I can tell you is it's going to play out in a way that means these guys are going to come in, take ownership of crypto, either on behalf of clients or on behalf of themselves for their own operational reasons, and it's going to drive the prices up. Which crypto will they go for? Nobody really knows. There's a lot of NDAs out that say a lot are in bed with Ripple already, or expected to get in bed with Ripple already, which would indicate a likelihood to use XRP. But we don't know. We don't. The NDAs are exactly that. Maybe when we open all those NDAs, when this is all finally done, they say we were never going to work with Ripple. They're awful. They're terrible. We want to work with Bitcoin. I can't see it, but maybe, so we don't know is the answer. But what we do know is that the price of cryptocurrency in general will see a huge influx of buyers, which normally means supply and demand laws. We'll see the prices go up. The next major news, and this one, I'm going to use the Wolf of Wall Streets for this. Strong rumor, don't shoot the messenger, but hearing it through reliable channels, the strategic stockpile they are discussing is Bitcoin and ... XRP. Not a joke, we will see. Now, again, that's a strong rumor. He's not saying it's gospel truth. He's not seeing official documentation. Certainly the fact that the president came out and said a strategic crypto holding and not Bitcoin has ruffled a lot of feathers in the Bitcoin community and raised a lot of eyebrows in the non-crypto community, in the non-Bitcoin community. Sorry, it's something that definitely makes us consider the fact that he's going to use more than just one coin, which, to be perfectly honest, makes absolute sense. I'm not one of these guys who trolls Bitcoin. I don't hate Bitcoin. I don't own much of it myself. I've got about a couple of million Satoshis, so I still want it to go up because I'll make some money. Bitcoin got me into this space. So again, in the same respect, I owe Bitcoin a lot. I know lots of Bitcoin maxis, and I really hope those people make as much money as possible. I don't get all this infighting and our coin's better than your coin. There's enough room for everybody, guys. There's enough room out there for everybody. But I think it makes perfect sense that when he talks about these, now we've got this new phrase, made in America coins. I don't think he actually phrased that himself, the president. I think it may have been CoinGecko or something like that, one of the exchanges. But either way, we now use this phrase, made in America coins. He has come out and said American made cryptos will not be subject to capital gains tax, which is great for everybody. The no tax thing for anyone in America obviously is great. It's great for those outside of America because even though it doesn't affect us from a tax point of view, it does mean that our coins are going to go up in value much more, beneficially to us. And even if we have to pay tax on that, as I have always said to investors of mine, I'd rather you have a huge tax bill because that means I've made you huge profits in the first place. There's no capital gains tax without a capital gain at the end of the day. So yes, I do my best to avoid them in a legal manner. That's what we all do. I personally, I don't believe I have to pay any tax on my crypto profits because of my sort of unique tax position. I've set myself up years ago in a way that I'm, let's say, tax neutral almost. I do have assets that I pay taxes on in the UK. I have assets that I pay taxes on in a couple of countries in Asia. But predominantly my income is very, very low tax because of my very, very legal setup. It's something I've done a long time ago to ensure that I pay as little tax as possible because I don't like paying tax where I don't need to. And it's all in a legal way. That's how the system works. They give you loopholes to take advantage of. That's why you see these mega corporations that never seem to pay any tax around the world. It's because they utilize legal framework to avoid as much tax as they can. So I'll pay very little tax on my crypto, and anything I do have to pay, I'll take as a benefit because the simple fact of the matter is I'm only paying capital gains tax because I've made a huge gain, right? So that's going to be huge for everybody out there. But I think it does make sense that these coins will be utilized into a strategic basket because it just does. The reason there's more than one coin is because there are lots and lots of different areas. There's, as in different types of coins, but there's also different in the big old world. Ripple has always talked about wanting to solve the cross-border transaction problem. Then we get to tokenization, things like that. But the simple fact of the matter is, they said we want to solve this problem. AI coins want to solve a different problem. There's hundreds of thousands of coins out there now. Some of them are memes, most of them are memes with no real benefit, but some of them go out there to try to utilize and solve a problem. And so it makes sense to have more than one because it could be that some do well. If I go out and buy a portfolio of stocks, I don't buy every stock in the AI sector. I'll buy a lot of AI stocks right now because the way the world is, it's a good sector to be involved in. But in the same respect, I'll still go out and buy some energy stock. I'll buy some mining stock. I'll buy some banking stock. I might buy some whole good stocks. I might buy some agricultural stocks. It doesn't matter. I'll buy a mixed basket of stocks because I'm aware that the world does better and worse in different sectors at different times. So by having a broader basket of investments, you're better equipped, to cover volatility, good years, bad years. You've got a diversified portfolio. It's kind of the same. I don't know why anyone would get upset. I mean, I do know why someone would get upset. The simple fact of the matter is it's self-protection. I've only bought Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's the best. I want Bitcoin to go up in value, so I'm going to shout and scream blue murder and tell everyone that everything else is rubbish because I don't want anyone else to make money but me. It's selfishness. It's I don't want to get into all that. I'm not here to sling mud at other people, but you can see it through. I mean, I made a post earlier today that I was watching this baby shouting and screaming about how Ripple's this and that. It's like, come on, dude, you've made a lot of money already. You're going to make even more. Don't worry about other people involved with Ripple if they take a tiny, tiny piece of your pie. Come on. I mean, I love it. I'm talking about Ethereum today with someone, and Ethereum's very, very low in value, but the charts are pointing towards Ethereum's going to do well. I'm over the moon, and I think I do hold Ethereum. I think I've got about $26 US worth, which I use to pay gas fees from time to time. and I have to top that up soon because it won't cover many gas fees. But it's that I use Ethereum for gas fees only. I don't hold Ethereum. I never have done. But it's something that you look at it, and quite frankly, I'm over the moon that Ethereum's going to have a pump up to $10,000. I think it will, and I'm over the moon for the people that hold it, because why would I not want those people to be successful? It doesn't affect me. It's not a case of they're going to make money or I'm not. We're all going to make money, just at a very slightly different time. But we're all going to make money. Maybe that guy will make 500% and I make 400%, or 5,000% and I make 4,000%. I'm not going to sit there crying about him making a little bit more than me. I'm going to be too busy being over the moon that I've made 4,000% return on my investment. What is wrong with these people? Why can't you be happy for everyone? Anyway, moving on. So we have a post from Dark Defender here. And again, if you don't know Dark Defender, give this guy a follow. One of the best technical analysis on the internet. I'm using this because this is typical of much of what I've seen from all the TA guys I follow at the moment. So basically, with everything that's going on, these guys have all made predictions earlier in the year at lower top prices. I think Dark Defender was more like $50, which was still one of the higher ones in fairness. But he's come out now on 15th of January. We discussed a fascinating Fibonacci level. After 7 years of consolidation, XRP is now winking at $77.70, my midterm target. He does say NFA, not financial advice, but realistically speaking, there's not much on this actually at this point in time. He's sort of come out, he's taken this chart, and he's basically said, I think we're about here. So we're going to see a pump up to somewhere around the $24 mark, 25, between $20 and $30, $25 and $30. And then we'll probably consolidate off again. And again, he's got candles wicking down here to high single digits. So if you're someone who is going to capitulate and sell when it starts coming down, probably bear in mind what he thinks here. We're likely to come down and then pick back up again. And then he's got us pumping back up. He's got a mark. You can't see my cursor, but you can see it highlighted in the circle, $77.71, with a few wicks a bit higher as well. I can't possibly tell you where you need to take profits because I don't know how much you hold. If you've got 100 XRP, then you're in a very different position than a guy with 1 million XRP, right? So I couldn't possibly tell you. All I can tell you is that these guys are all singing a very similar tune. They all think we're going to see something like this. Different price targets. Some people are still talking about $20, $30. Some people are still talking about $5 to $10. So you have to sort of decide where you fall within that. I know one of the guys I listen to a lot on this channel, on YouTube is New Lambo. I love what he has to say. He's very, very staunch in his thought process that he knows where his targets lie, and he does not care about the rest of the world. He does not care if he takes his profit at $7 and it goes to $7,000. He will not be disappointed because he's done his maths, he's planned accordingly, and he's ready to take profit at that level because it's enough. You need to do those numbers yourself. I've done those numbers myself. I think I'm waiting on a higher price than $7 for certain. I don't need $77 either. But realistically speaking, I also intend to keep what I call a moon bag for a long, long time. That I'm just gonna close my eyes and leave that to grow. And one day I'll open it up, and maybe you'll see me on a whale watch. Some guys just opened a wallet with X thousand XRP in it after 15 years. It's now worth millions of dollars. Why not, right? But I plan to take profits this time around, like everyone else. I've got reasons to take profit. I've got use cases for the money. But in the same respect, I won't take it all, and I'm gonna rely on guys like this for my targets. I'm perfectly happy to sit this first one through and ride this down, and then when we see this secondary pump at some point along that line, I'm going to take a portion of profits out, just so that if I get it wrong and I round trip with the vast majority of my bag, I don't sit there and kick myself for the next 5 years because I've already taken out enough money to cover, buy my wife a soccer mum car, buy myself, maybe a trip somewhere. I might top myself up to a business class seat or something like that. I don't need an awful lot of money out, but I want to be able to cover a few things off and make sure this entire last 5 years has been worth it, right? Buy yourself a little treat. Moving on. So we have a post here from Eleanor Terrett again. Um, this is a slightly different post. So what she says is, as someone who really only began observing the space in 2021, I've never seen this level of open warfare between coin communities. Now the SecGov is no longer a common enemy. It's back to warring amongst yourselves. It's a valid comment, right? It's a valid comment. This is from Bitcoin. Retweet if you don't want XRP on America's balance sheet. Bitcoin only. Well, that's Bitcoin Magazine. Of course they're going to have that opinion. They make money off Bitcoin and Bitcoin alone. But there's a lot of negative stuff out there. And like I was saying before, I don't get it. I don't understand why people have to be upset that other fellow members of the human race are also making profits. I don't get it. You know, these guys, I want to be a billionaire and to hell with everyone else. Well, what's wrong with us all being multi-millionaires? That would be nice, right? What's wrong with us all making a healthy profit from this market? A rising tide lifts all ships. We're all going to be okay. I don't understand it. But moving on, this is Smoke Dog again. I think you all know I love Smoke Dog and everything he does. He's one of the best researchers out there. But this is a slightly different one. And I told you the coat was going to be funny. No, I didn't think it would be this funny. So this was his post. He said the coat is going to get so much worse from here on. And most importantly, it's going to be funny. I don't know who this person is. XRP is an NPC coin. You literally cannot name one real person that holds XRP. Guys, what is wrong with these people? I don't know who that person is. I have no problem against them as a human being. That they're just clearly very, very ill-informed. You know, there's these people out there, they have this tunnel vision on what they're looking at. They hate things. I've spoken to people who hate XRP, and when I've asked them why, they can't explain to me 2 or 3 things about it. What they hate is this media image of crypto, and they've given it the pseudonym XRP, and it's all untruth. No, I was going to say the BS word. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on YouTube at the moment. I got a warning note from my language a couple of videos ago. But it's all non-truth. It's not factual information there. It's other people's opinions coming out of their mouths because they've read the opinion of some asshole on the internet. I've done it again. But someone on the internet who's clearly misinformed or has not done the research. And it does not make sense to be angry at other people anyway. But I think they're angry because they genuinely believe the BS they've heard about this coin. You know, crazy. You can't name one person. I can name 5 people in my own family who are an XRP. Crazy. Anyway, moving on. I want to get back to the key points of the video where we're already coming up to 30 minutes, so I apologize for taking too much of your time. If you haven't liked what I said today, guys, please do like and subscribe. I always appreciate that. But Stab 121 is absolutely massive, guys. The fact that this is gone opens the door to everything. From a personal point of view, I don't like self-custody of my crypto either. So give it a year when you've got the likes of the biggest banks offering custody services, probably linked to some kind of income. I'm going to fall over myself to get in because I don't like self-custody. I know my strengths and my weaknesses, and I'm more than capable of burning my house down with my keys inside. I'm more than capable of, forgetting the code to my safe. There's 1,000 things that can go wrong with self-custody. I like the idea of a big bank doing similar to what they do with your cash, saying, look, we have this type of account. It's a crypto fixed deposit. You put your crypto in with us and we utilize it and we'll pay you an interest per year. Of course, you get the capital gain if the value of your crypto goes up, just like you do with holding US dollars and things like that. So I would love that because I could monetize it without any real risk because they insure against the risk, normally up to certain capital levels. But they do insure to a certain degree against the risk. And B, I don't have to run the risk of losing my own keys, of accidentally sending my coins to the wrong wallet address or something like that. That's all owned by the bank and they take responsibility for that. And they will, they'll reimburse you if there's a loss of crypto through their mistakes. So That's where I want to see it go, but it's not about that. It's about how the demand will drive the price of our coins through the roof, whatever coins you hold. There's going to be, as I said here, a crypto gold rush. We are about to see a crypto gold rush. I highlighted some of the coins there. The reason I stopped at those ones isn't because I think other coins aren't going to benefit from this. It's because I couldn't be bothered to type any more hashtag coins in there. It did its job. It got the message out. People saw my tweet. But we're about to see a crypto gold rush. Think back to the California gold rush, guys. There are assets out there in this space that now are, we've crossed that line. The train has left the station. They are provably valuable to the financial world, to the business world, to the world in general. And suddenly the biggest financial institutions on earth are being given the green light to hold them. And very, very quickly, we're going to see them utilizing plans to hold them. And unless there's any major shock we're about to hear, the only way these banks are going to utilize these assets to begin with are by buying their own and keeping them in storage, which supply and demand drives the price up. We are going to see tokenization, real world asset tokenization coming into the market much quicker now because banks are allowed to hold the coins on which they're going to tokenize the assets. And we're going to see mass adoption in that respect as well. The simple fact of the matter is 100 billion XRP sounds like a lot of coins, right? I've named Shiba Inu here, 4 quadrillion or whatever. That was a lot of coins. But the simple fact of the matter is it's only a lot compared to today's demand. That's how supply and demand works. It's only a lot compared to today's demand. When the demand goes up, suddenly you realize just how few coins 100 billion, 56 billion in circulation really is. Circulation of 56 billion, that's not even 56 billion in circulation because that includes the likes of us, and mine certainly aren't in circulation. They're on a cold wallet that will quite possibly never be touched for 10 years if I decide to change my mind and don't cash in at the top of this bullet. So we're going to see how few coins there really are. There's going to be supply shocks. The exchanges, those supply shocks on Song just with Trump launching a little coin. The coin got to a couple of $1 billion, 50 billion, something like that. That's not a lot of money. In the financial world, that is a drop in the ocean. And it created supply shocks on the exchanges for Solana. Realistically speaking, we are going to see supply shocks drive prices up. Bear that in mind as well when it comes time to sell. Be prepared for the fact that it may be very difficult to sell your assets at certain times. Be prepared for that. That happens every bull and every bear market. When the world is tumbling, it's very hard to sell your assets back into stable coins or into fiat. When the world is flying, it's just hard to get your cash. It's hard to sell the assets because the exchanges struggle with the volume. So just be prepared for that. But where we are in general is, that was my message today. The news has been sensationally good. We are about to see a crypto gold rush. But remember, the gold rush didn't begin in a week and end in a week. It begins, it's slow. The first pioneers start to spot gold. The message then went back by probably horse and carriage or something like this. And eventually everyone realizes and the masses come flocking for the gold. I still think bizarrely, I don't think this one is going to align perfectly with the bull run. We're in the bull run already. The gold rush, as I call it, will be later. And so what I think it's going to impact is the next bear market. I think we're going to see a bizarre situation where retail is pulling out because the market is turning sour, and utility side of things, big banks, big institutions are coming in, which might mean we have a very deflated bear market compared to others, which may impact my decision on selling as well. But I'm hoping things materialize and reveal themselves before I have to make that choice. Otherwise, I'll make the choice to cash a little bit in and maybe just ride the storm through, because I think there's an awful lot going to be different about this market now. But guys, I've been yapping on for over 30 minutes now, 34 minutes. So thank you to those of you who stayed with me all this way through. I really do appreciate it. As ever, please do like and subscribe to the channel. In the meantime, get yourselves out there, enjoy this market. There's going to be some great news over the next couple of weeks. I think we're going to see the next leg up of this bull run. Enjoy it. Stay classy, crypto.